always tell people that Shalako was ahead of its time. And in essence, that was true because of the 20-something vocational education programs that the students had access to here on campus.
We heard stories before we came about how good Shalako was to the students and everything, and I found that to be true, and I liked the classes. We had half-day academics and half-day vocational if you chose.
Why I came to Shalako was suddenly I'm at a place where I fit. I knew that all of the students that I started associating with were members of other tribes, but you know that didn't matter. I never let that enter my mind that, you know, he or she is different because they're members of another tribe. What mattered was the fact that we clicked, and suddenly the tribe doesn't matter. We supported one another.
We still do.
If you think eating heart-healthy food to support your blood pressure has to take a lot of time and hassle, then you need to try Super Beets Heart Chews, the first and only heart chew with unique polyphenols that make supporting your healthy blood pressure convenient and delicious. Super Beets polyphenols are nature's way of helping reduce oxidative stress and supporting circulation so you feel more energized.
It gets me going. It gets my circulation flowing, and I have that energy all through the day. It's just fantastic.
I can stick them in my bag and keep them in my car. I love that I'm taking something that's healthy for me, and it's maintaining healthy blood pressure.
What makes Super Beets polyphenols so different from other antioxidants? In a leading clinical study, they were shown nearly 2 times as effective at promoting normal blood pressure as a healthy lifestyle alone.
In my 31 years of helping people maintain healthy blood pressure, I've never seen a polyphenol compound this effective. Super Beets antioxidants help support healthy blood pressure and help your body produce more energy.
Now I feel like I have this wonderful reserve of energy. My blood pressure is even more healthy. I'm loving it.
Now you can try our top-selling Super Beets Heart Chews risk-free. Call to find out how you can receive an extra 30-day supply of Heart Chews free with your first order. And for a limited time, we'll also send you a free 30-day supply of our brand-new Super Beets Memory and Focus Chews. The only chew for brain health support to contain unique polyphenol compounds, clinically studied to promote healthy blood flow to the brain, while also supporting memory and focus so you feel more alert. This offer is not in stores, so call today. We'll even include free shipping, free returns, plus a 100% money-back guarantee. That's over $30 in total free gifts. Take your cardio and neuronutrition to an entirely new level. Try Super Beets Chews today. Love your results or your money back.
Visit superbeets.com/memory or call 1-800-717-2620. That's 1-800-717-2620. Call now.
He said, if you leave, I am going to kill you.
The killer, you know, they were the perfect family, but never suspected.
I'll find you one way or the other.
Someone They Knew with Tamron Hall, premiering Sunday, March 6th, only on Court TV.
The golden era of Shalako, as Jim, Charmaine, and Claudine describe it, came after the Merriam Report was issued by the Department of the Interior in 1928. This report detailed the adverse effects of harsh punishments, poor living conditions, and the damage that isolation did to Native children at these schools. The memories of how students were treated in the early years and the harsh conditions are ones that Jim and Charmaine and the Shalako Alumni Association don't want people and the public to forget. That's why they've dedicated years to accounting for the graves at the cemetery on Shalako's grounds. Jim and Charmaine have put names and tribal affiliations to all 67 students who died and are buried here. They worked with the Kaw Nation to get a monument placed here.
So these were all students, and this is how old they were.
Yeah.
On the one. Who was that?
I went over those records every day for a month, and it made me cry every day because of how they were listed. Just Well, that little girl just has a first name. It doesn't have the year. It doesn't have her last name. And the amount of disrespect that they had for our children is just incomprehensible. How could you treat someone like that? Like, no last name, no tribe, no nothing.
Charmaine said she found letters sent home to families telling them about their child's death.
One of them even said that they had suffered a lot, and so death came as a relief. You know, you get a letter like that about your child.
Jim and Charmaine want the Bureau of Indian Affairs to help maintain the cemetery. That's what they hope comes out of the Interior Department's initiative on boarding schools.
And as we've said here time and time again, they will not be neglected. They will not be forgotten.
The push for answers and accountability is also about holding some of the institutions who operated those schools responsible. That includes the church.
If you knew that song in our language, it's a spirit of resistance, because what it's imploring on those that are singing is that because the Creator has given us this one day, we don't know what tomorrow may hold or anything else, but we know we've been given this chance right now to live life to the fullest, that this is a mentality that has permeated our indigenous peoples, and that we're going to do everything within our power to embrace what the Creator has given us and live life to the fullest.
Miko Shaban Colonel is a Methodist minister, a spiritual leader within the Seminole and Muskogee Nation, and part of a movement within the Methodist Church to bring about reconciliation between Native Americans and religious institutions that operated boarding schools.
We are in a moment of removing the silencing of the voices that exist in history here in the United States, that this country has not understood fully what has happened in terms of the displacement of indigenous peoples here. So I'm thinking this is
I met Shaban at the church he was brought up in Oklahoma City. He performed his first sermon here. His grandparents attended boarding schools and had trouble remembering their language, and they had trauma associated with it.
Even though we went through that trauma of history, we have grandfather after grandfather, grandmother after grandfather, grandmother after grandmother, who did everything in their power to create an environment for their children and their grandchildren so that they might have a good life. And they resisted that temptation to hate. They resisted that temptation to be violent. And they would go and do those things. And so today, as I stand here as a member of our ceremonial community, is what I first identify as. I see that resistance because those fires were kept going.
That resistance is embodied in Chanina Lamawaima's book. They called it Prairie Light. Chanina is a Muskogee Creek descendant, an author, and an educator. She interviewed dozens of former Shalako students who talked about the good and bad at the school. Both her dad and uncle went there during the Great Depression.
They missed their family. They were not allowed to return home in those years, even over the summer, unless their parents could pledge that they would pay for the train ticket home and back again. My grandmother could not afford that.
Even though her dad and uncle struggled at Shalako, Chanina has pushed back against some of the recent coverage of boarding schools because she believes students who survived that era, like her dad, showed resilience and strength. She remembered him as someone who was loving, even after his experience at Shalako. She thinks boarding schools should be remembered for what they are.
These schools are sites of conscience. They're sites of incredibly complex stories as well. The conscience is complicated. But, I think that imperative to save the site, I'm fully in accord with that.
That complicated history is evident in the stories Jim, Charmaine, and Claudine tell about Shalako. While they work to take full account of the hardships the school inflicted, They have many fond memories of their own time here.
But you know, we had movies on Saturday nights, and we had skating parties, and we had dances.
Where did you guys have skating parties?
In the gym, the girls' gym, which used to be here, and then we had dances down at the gym on Saturday nights.
The school eventually closed in 1980. And since 2006, it has been on the National Register of Historic Places. The Tonkawa, Pawnee, Oto-Missouri, Ponca, and the Kaw tribes are trustees of the land, but it has fallen into disrepair.
There's not many of us left now, about less than 1,000. And we'll keep chugging along till the last one's gone. And then we have an associate program where our offspring, or many of our offspring, are now fully aware of what the desires are, and then they will keep it going as long as they can.
The kids paid the price, spent their blood. They ought to consider that lives are spent here, you know. And they should do something to honor what they did.
It grieves my soul to see this place like it is.
The Chilocco Alumni Association want to restore and preserve some of the buildings, and there's been talk of turning it into a cultural center. Jim says the gates leading into the school is a landmark burned into his heart. For him and other alumni, the school, known as the Light on the Prairie, is a place they found resilience, strength, and friendships.
If you're on Medicare or retiring soon, making sure you have the right Medicare coverage is important. So talk to United Healthcare and take advantage of a wide choice of plans, including an AARP Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. It can combine your hospital and doctor coverage with Part D prescription drug coverage and more, all in one simple plan for a low monthly premium, or in some areas, no plan premium at all. Take advantage of $0 copays on primary care doctor visits, virtual visits, and lab tests. Also, get $0 copays on preventive dental care, $0 copays on routine hearing exams, and free yearly eye exams, plus free designer frames and prescription lenses. Now's the time to look at United Healthcare's variety of plans, and let us help find the one that works best for you. Ask about PPO plans, too. They let you see any doctor who accepts Medicare without a referral and pay in-network costs at home or traveling when you see doctors in the United Healthcare Medicare National Network. Take advantage of $0 copays and deductibles on Tier 1 and mail-order Tier 2 prescriptions. In fact, our Medicare Advantage plan members saved an average of over $9,000 in 2020. And with Renew Active, enjoy a free gym membership with access to the largest gym network of any Medicare Advantage plan. As always, you can count on United Healthcare to help you get the care you need when you need it. We can even help schedule appointments or find a specialist. If you're on Medicare or retiring soon, call United Healthcare or go online today. We make it easy to enroll, too. Enjoy all the benefits of the only Medicare Advantage plans with the AARP name. Take advantage now.
Your cat deserves the perfect litter box, and so do you. Kitty Poo Club reinvented the litter box. Totally convenient, odor-free, delivered to you with free shipping. Kitty Poo Club is perfection. Go to kittypooclub.com now to get started.
What are my stats? Well, my investments are tracking up, my house will be paid off in 12 years, and I'll retire at 61. Take control of your finances with Quicken. Try risk-free for 30 days.
The internet is home to scores of adoption success stories. Baby finds a home. People become parents. Everybody wins.
This is the sweetest thing I've ever seen.
But private adoption in the United States is also an extremely lucrative business, with inconsistent regulations and financial incentives that can lead to problems.
You feel gross because you